broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
If you get in trouble.
Hello, fans of Bar Rescue. Kevin Undergaro here for AfterBuzz TV, Bar Rescue After Show. Back to the bar with my amazing co-host, Mia Mastriani.
Hello, Kevin. Hello, guys.
Hi, Paisan. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
Well, you're really good, right? After watching Back to the Bar.
I love Back to the Bar. I love it. I mean, I dork out on regular bar rescues, but there's something that's just like the next level of enjoyment for these Back to the Bar episodes for me. I love seeing where they are now. I love seeing the owners and revisiting them, seeing what they've kept, what they've discarded, if their food is good. I love Back to the Bar.
So you like the other one with pirates?
Hey.
Minute 24.
Minute 25.
All right, so you like the first one? Do you remember seeing the first one? Wow, okay.
I do. I like them.
Okay, so for me, I had guessed maybe because we didn't do an after show for the Back to the Bar, I don't think. For the first one. And so, that being the case, I was like, oh, okay, you wanted to do this. And I said, okay, let's do it. And I watched it, and I loved it. And normally I don't like these kind of... I do like them, but sometimes I'm leery of producers just trying to get another episode out without having to spend money.
I don't think things that way.
She taped John in studio. He does some wraparounds,
Okay.
but I want usually John to go back to the bars. Mm-hmm. However, I agree with you. This was amazing. I loved it.
I did too.
It was really good, and so much to talk about for all the different bars. Which one do you want to start with?
I feel like we should go in order.
Okay.
So we would start with Sorties, which used to be O'Banion's in Bellevue, Nebraska.
Yes.
Wow.
How well do you remember the episode?
It was weird when I was watching it last night. It was very patchy for me. I didn't remember the specifics, but I really liked how they incorporated like parts of the original episode into the cut to kind of remind you. And I was like, oh, right, okay. Because then we had the owner, Jerry, who used to drink constantly behind the bar. Mm-hmm. And we have a lot of owners that drink at their bars, and I didn't remember how bad it was.
Astonishingly high amount.
Yes.
But
I didn't remember that it had been so bad with this particular episode until they started cutting in those clips, and I was like, "Oh, right, this guy."
And one of the many things that stood out from the original episode was how the John put a picture of his dad.
Yes.
Remember, in the bar, and it was just so smart because it was such a reminder of someone's watching you, and if you're not for any other reason, just look at that picture and think of your father, what your father would want. Would he really want some fat drunk guy flopping around this place, squandering now this amazing second chance in life, which so few of us ever get? Or do you want to, step up and do what you need to do? And so I think that was, one of the things that I remember that stood out to me. It was like, that is why I just love John Taffer. I love Bar Rescue, but I love John because that's where only someone like John would know to do that. I don't know. That's why I always remember that. And I loved the episode, and I loved the turnaround. And what I enjoyed most was the, when you see these, when you go back to the bar and you watch, I was freeze framing on what the bars look like now, and taking real careful attention to that, because most of the bars, as we know, they tweak them or they totally change them.
Yeah.
And when I did the freeze frame, everything was exactly like John left it. And I was so excited.
Here's the thing, and it comes out in another bar that we're going to review, but personally having like a personal experience attached to the show and being on an episode and getting the emotional attachment to the owners and the bartenders and having this experience, I always root for the bar. I always root
So do
for the
I.
bar.
I
I'm
really-
their number one
right,
cheerleader. That
right.
it's like when even if it's an episode with someone else and I'm not a part of it, I'm always rooting for the bar because I can relate to the experience of being a part of the show and how hard everyone works to make this successful. And when you have an owner like Jerry who does a complete turnaround and says, we had a meeting after John left and we weren't quite sure how we felt about it, but we decided we were gonna stick with it and see what happened. And I respect that because if you give over to the process, and if you just let go of that voice in your head that's so afraid of change, we all fear change, I hate change, but if you just let it go and just trust in John that he has the experience, he knows what he's doing, and he's always trying to make things better.
I think with people, you have to, you've got to be able to look in the mirror about yourself and your own shortcomings. And, so often in life, that takes a lot of courage to do that. And so often in life, the easier thing to do is just blame the economy, blame people, my coworkers. At some point, you do have to look in the mirror and say, it's me. And if you're not succeeding, God, it's like, part of it is having that courage to blame yourself, and then when you get someone like John who comes in, it's saying, okay, I'm going to give over to the process, and I'm going to attack this old problem in a new way, right? Definition of insanity is you're attacking the same old problem in the same way and expecting different results, and that's what we see time and time again with these owners. So, and it astounds me that the owners are actually fans of the show, and you would think they would learn to behave now. They'd say, okay, well, and we're seeing it a little bit. They'll behave a little bit to his face, and then the next day change the sign or whatever. But we're still seeing the people toe the line in that capacity. But it was so encouraging to see a great concept that these guys bought in, and then it just changed his life. He bought a new house. I mean,
I loved everything about.
And by the way, how great did the food look?
It was fantastic. I mean, okay, this was
literally one
so
of the
much
best
about
kitchen
this
things I've ever seen.
So much about this one bar worked so well because due to their proximity to the base, obviously they went with the military theme, and they sent in the recon guys from the base who. I mean, what I loved right off the bat is that it showed that they were going in on a Saturday night. The place was packed.
Yeah.
It was packed. That is not staged. That is not something that you would do for this. Like, no, they went. The place was packed, and they had the time limit of we want to get in and out in a half an hour. They got their drinks. The drinks looked great. There was no question about how to make the drinks. They were still making the drinks the same way that they have been taught. And the drinks hit the table in 4 minutes. Great ticket time.
And for me, the dishes. Normally, the dishes look amazing, and then I would understand if the chef leaves, they're not going to look at. Those dishes looked incredible.
They did, and I loved the guy who, when they were saying, how does it taste? He kept saying, it tastes like home. I loved that. I did. I loved it.
Yeah, I did too.
Because that's the epitome of comfort food.
It was always one of my favorite episodes anyway. At least for the good ones. When we have not the good ones, but the ones where we have an owner that really does buy in and change. This one to me was very special. Like I said, it was capped by which we didn't see, but the father's picture in the bar. So I don't know. We can move on to my next favorite bar.
Okay, we can do that.
Unless you want to know. Unless you have more to say.
I'm very excited for Jerry and the whole crew at Sorties. I loved the turnaround. I love that they embraced it, and that's like a shining example of what Bar Rescue and the experience can do to turn your life around.
You know what's so sad about all of us? We all just go to the negative. It's like I was bragging. I was bragging to you today.
Yes.
Well, first of all, it's relevant to back to the bar because I'm so excited to talk about the negative bars, but that's just how we are as humans.
Yeah.
And earlier I was trying to say to Mia, I took up my nice margarita machine and I made some mudslides for everybody, and it was raving. And Roxy, was like, I heard the machine exploded. I'm like, that's what you heard? Okay, a couple of times it overflowed or whatever, but like everyone loved my margarita, my mudslides. I was like, I haven't bartended in years. And then, but like I said, everyone enjoys the negative, and I'm as guilty of that because I'm more excited to talk about the next
All right,
bar.
well, let's move on then and just...
Sadly, because the sorority bar is amazing, and it is. It's a wonderful story, and I shouldn't be like this, but please.
No, totally fine.
Next bar.
You're very excited, so why don't you do the intro?
Well, which one? No, there's both of them. Which one do you want to go with?
O-Face.
Yeah, okay. Great. O-Face. Oh, my God.
Wow. Best line of the night. You can put lipstick on a pig. And it's still a pig.
It's still a pig. You know, can't polish a turd. It's just that same old thing. Let's talk about the lipstick they put on, though.
Oh, I mean...
And actually, I thought it looked better. Can we just be fair?
It did look better, but everyone, like, had something to prove. Everyone had an axe to grind to be like, you know, John was going to come in and he wouldn't save our bar, so we did it. We did it.
Okay.
Well, look what you did to it.
Okay, wait. Okay, again, let's give some credit, because most of the time, these owners are so lame that they can't even clean a bathroom.
True.
You know, and no matter what happens. But in this case, we see these guys who, the outside painting, I thought it looked nice. Mm-hmm. Okay. And although the name O-Face is ridiculous, I thought like the red and the lips and all that other stuff, and the light, I listen, if you're going to polish a pig, I thought it was a pretty pig. I don't think that's why the bar doesn't make it.
No.
And I think that was better than what it was. So I just want to be fair. I think it was better than what it was.
That's very diplomatic of you.
I'm not. I'm honest. I think the paint looked nice. I thought the lighting, the little like flash lighting on the O-Face thing. I mean, if you wanted to capture that kind of bar, I mean, but again, physically speaking, the bar I thought looked better. But like John said, O-Face is so offensive to women.
It's very offensive.
And when you need 60% women in your bar and you've only got 18%, I mean, I get it. So I get from like you're a failure from go. Yeah, and so it really is the polishing a turd. God,
there were 4 women in that bar, and one of them, the recon spy, was hit on by a drunk regular.
Wait,
for entertainment value.
Okay, but I'm not.
I really enjoyed.
Okay, but you're acting as if I'm defending them. I'm not defending them. All I'm saying is that I thought the decor looked better, but I have.
I will agree with you on that. They put some work into it.
There's a lot of life lessons here. Myself, when I was younger and had more testosterone in me, you know, you'll be part of a film, and you're making a movie, and it starts out great. You know, the script gets great coverage, and you know, and then, you know, by the time you get into shooting, and just different things fall apart, and you know, it becomes a sinking ship, and you're just trying to salvage. You're literally trying to polish a turd or put lipstick on a pig, and it's the worst feeling. And sometimes in life you can't cut, you know, what is it, cut bait, like and move on. Mm-hmm. But it is a lesson of when you need to. So I mean, again, you know, you knew the bar was failing. I don't know.
But this goes to show that.
But I would have kept. I would actually kept the name O-Face if I were them. After John walked out.
Yes, because
it's all you've got left.
Exactly.
It's the only bar that John's walked out on. So it's something you can play with.
It is notable. It is memorable.
The problem is, to me, it's never going to be fixed because the head of the fish, you know,
exactly, which goes to show that like just getting a makeover for your bar or putting the work in yourself and like making improvements, that's not enough to save this bar. There were problems that ran way deeper than the physical structure of this bar.
I mean, the very dark ownership group.
And they brought back the girl.
You knew they were going to.
I know. I just didn't want. I'm very gullible, and I just wanted to think that she was gone, and I didn't. She was back.
Nope, right back, because
my heart sank a little.
But you know, and again, not to pontificate, but you see a lot of businesses, like a lot of TV shows, you know, even in Hollywood, that are run by those kind of despicable people. So then it's other despicable people who work there, and then it's usually like 1 or 2 kind of nice people who are just a masochist and they hang in. But for the most part, that's what you have. So I totally knew she was going to come in because anyone nice was going to get terrorized. Like the girl that got
Like
beat
the
up,
poor-
and like Sick, who got fired. I mean, anyone.
I saw that coming.
See again, like Mia, like you're the type of person because you have such a great energy and light. You don't attract those kind of people. So I bet you anything, all the bars you've gone into, that you've worked for, haven't had that kind of darkness. Am I right?
No, I've been fortunate.
So working in the carnival business, that's all I would have. And when I ran it, I changed it. You know, we're still oh my God, my best friends. You know, we're all family. You know, but the other companies that I worked for, it was such darkness, and you know, everyone who worked there it was just like that, and that's why Old Face was so hard for me to watch. And to see him, I've had bosses slap around and physically abuse workers. I've seen it all, and it was really hard to watch. And I'm so glad John walked out on them. There is an O-Face happy ending, which they didn't put because maybe this was taped a while ago.
Okay.
You know, so they're like sales or whatever. I don't know. Like,
food sales were down by 30% and drink sales were down by 15%.
Well, it depends on your view of happy ending, but they're closed. They're out. They're done.
That is a happy ending.
Yeah, that's a happy ending. Yeah, they got what was coming to them, and yeah. I don't know, man. And the wife just smoking cigarettes and sitting in her office.
Oh, and with her little bell at the bar.
Queen Sheba, as John put it.
That was a bar I could not get behind and root for.
And did you see that again? When I say about darkness, and you know your bosses are darkness, your employees are dark, and then your clients are dark. I mean, did you see that rough crowd? Yeah. And that poor couple, they picked they picked the perfect couple, like the hippie couple, you know, that was gonna go in there, and it was like, oh, they're so dead. They're so dead.
Well, on the plus side, the one thing they did right was kick the guy out.
Okay, I'm gonna be cynical right now.
Okay.
I think that guy was a plant. I do, because he didn't look like a thug. Look at him. He did not go look at the tape. He didn't look like a thug. He didn't look like.
He looked hammered.
He didn't look like the guy in the Canyon Inn that was torturing John's wife. He didn't look, to me anyway. And I felt it was, they wanted to test to see how. I think Bar Rescue wanted to test to see how those guys would handle that without Sick, and they handled it. So I feel like that was. But I might be wrong. I'll ask the producers. I'll see if they'll be honest with me. But I felt like it just was because he just didn't look like, and he was just too aggressive. Like nobody is. Yes, they are, but he didn't look like a guy that was. I don't know. That was my gut.
I found him aggressive.
He was aggressive in the role he was playing. I just feel like he was probably sent in there to do that, to see how, because Sick was gone, it was to see how security was handled. How else would we know if we didn't have him?
All right, interesting theory. And I don't know if I buy it.
Yeah, no, well, that's, because he didn't, I wasn't buying him. I just wasn't buying him. You know, we've had the drunks who have not, but he was just, it was too much, but I might be wrong. I'll find out.
Okay.
I'll ask the DP of the show, see if they'll be honest with me. But I just thought it was. Anyway, they did pass that, but I kind of knew they would, because that's just so obvious. What would be interesting is, would they do that to a real regular who was there Monday through Friday, sitting on the stool, giving them a lot of money? That's the test, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think.
Right, because especially with this bar and the episode that John walked out on, it seemed like bar fights were normal there. Among the staff, among patrons, like everywhere. That was not out of the ordinary.
They defended the girl bartender. I mean, they had to fire her. That was actual assault and battery. They had to take a stand. But John made them. They were like, well, we got to get this renovation. But she was crying, Queen Sheba, to fire her like number one lackey. You know, she was bummed about it. But that's what I'm saying. I don't buy it. If it was if it was someone there who was a regular who made them a lot of money, I don't think it would be like that. I don't think it would be you have to leave. It would be even the way the kid walked out and rolled the pool table ball. I don't know.
Okay.
I wasn't buying it.
Well, I'm happy to hear that they're gone.
Yeah,
they
didn't make it. Well, you know, any parting words to O-Face and any lessons we can pass on to them? Nothing.
I'd be curious to know how O-Face feels about driving.
Oh.
Because does driving matter to you?
It matters to me.
Driving with the windows down, the wind blowing through your hair, the smell of pine trees and fresh asphalt. You look forward to these moments. when it's just you and the road, no distractions, handling every curve, and feeling every nuance in the road. So ask yourself, does driving matter to you? And if it does, we build cars just for you. Because to us, driving matters. Mazda.
Yeah, baby. By the way, they have some really cool models out. As I saw this commercial read by, it was a TV ad, and I think it was a celebrity that was doing it, and I'm like, wow, they got some nice cars. I might have to get in on that action. Yeah. Okay, now, do we end on a bad note or do we end on a good note? So
we got to end on the good note.
Oh, yes. Okay, so
Canyon Inn, which I've referenced him in that bar very often in all our past shows. He, to me, is one of the more underrated cads and villains of Bar Rescue. I would agree with you.
One of the more underrated ones. Mm-hmm. And I've even mentioned him on the air. I've talked to John about him. Again, I've had that boss. Just an ex-jock dick.
Yeah.
You know, an unlikable ex-jock brat who probably was a really good athlete growing up, so everything went his way. Mm-hmm. Very little regard for other people.
So hard-headed.
Hard-headed, cheap. By the way, probably impossible to coach a player like that.
Because he knows everything. He knows it all.
Everything. And they sent in the right guy.
Yes.
They sent in.
Yes, they did.
It's like Phil Wills would have been great too, but Russell, because Russell really has no problem going at those
Russell
guys.
was perfect in this setting.
Perfect to go against him.
I just went head to head, and I was so excited. I got fired up about this one.
I got fired up about the first one. The first episode. Just a fathead. He even looked like a fathead. I hate to say, whatever. I hate to be so mean. I don't know why. He always bothered me as one of our owners, and he doesn't get enough. No,
well, let's start bringing it back. Let's make him a reference.
Well, yeah, save the foam, and
save the foam.
Wait, we don't have to go. Let's not go too far backwards, okay? Because we gave him a new system, but those beautiful wall treatments, Canyon Inn Saloon, he hangs the pictures.
The vinyl signs and posters over the signs. It'll never be saloon. I'm not going to call it a saloon. So I'm going to cover it with a plastic beer sign. That looks good.
So you're not only ignorant, you're an idiot. Because even if it was just the Canyon Saloon, and okay, like you wanted to fight so hard, then it can be the Canyon Inn Saloon.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
We can live with that douchebag, but really? And then, furthermore, why he's such a brat, that of all the other owners who've had other names that meant so much to them completely taken away, John salvages it with Canyon Saloon, which would have been fine. It'll always be the Canyon Inn. Who cares?
Nobody cares.
Who cares? I get, if it was now being called Lola's Place, okay, but really,
it wasn't that far off the original.
It would be fine, and I would own that. I would embrace that. I'd be like, we were Canyon Inn, now we're Canyon Saloon, because Bar Rescue came in. It was a famous episode. It'd be like Bar Rescue, Bar Rescue, Bar Rescue, Bar Rescue. By the way, backing up, because I was freezing the DVR in O-Face, I want to make mention of one of the workers there. Did you see his T-shirt? You're probably not a loser like me to freeze. So I froze the DVR, and it says, I was on Bar Rescue, but all I got was this lousy T-shirt. It was something like that. Like
I missed it.
It was something, the guy, had it on his back because of, the fact that obviously that was the only walkout John's had. But anyway, going to this guy, seeing freeze framing the before and afters and what he did with the place, it's like, oh my God. And just not backing down from any of it.
No.
Again, you probably haven't had to deal with that, right?
Not so much. I mean, you every once in a while I've encountered someone that's very stubborn and set in their ways, and you have to do it their way. And even though everybody knows it, isn't working, or but you run into those people.
I mean, there are people that I always say that they'll say the sky's pink, and they won't even blink. No, it's pink. Yep, and it's unbelievable. No matter how many other people you bring around, they go, no, it's blue. Nope. And it just none of it. Oh, did you see the Podbuster with the old cash register?
Yeah.
Yep, the POS thing. I don't need that. Got the old cash register here. Cost me $500. He's like, the POS would have cost me $500, but still, it's like, wait. So, I mean, what is wrong with you? Anyway, yeah.
I thought he was going to get in a fight with Russell.
He wanted to, I'm sure, but it's good that Russell's not. He's a good old Southern boy. He's not afraid, and again, like those guys, those big fat heads always know it, because those guys, not to brag, but they would always push me, and then finally I would snap, and they would just they'd just back down and cry because he's just a bully, just a bully. But I do think he's one of the more underrated cads that we've had on Bar Rescue.
Defending his canned soup.
Oh my God, the can, what?
Just went back to, it's what he likes. It's what he likes. I'm going to bring what I like into my bar. I'm going to serve canned soup.
Canned soup. Yeah, you know what it is also with his bar too? It's just a bar for regulars and low-end regulars, and you're always in that position of, do we change and alienate them, or, do we just take our chances and just keep trying to serve them? And, it's not, you really don't grow that way. So you have to throw your Hail Mary at some point. If you're losing your money, you've got to change things up. Anyway, but I feel like that's that bar. Like, it's not a sports bar. It's not, he could have made it those things, but no, he's just catering to his miserable regulars. By the way, they're always a lot of fun too. Those regulars, not the Soho House regulars that you're used to, but I'm talking about regulars like that, like the regulars at O-Face, just bottom of the barrel, hardcore, where the alcohol is medicine for them. It's drug. Yeah. It's not a social thing. So,
yeah, I don't know.
Canyon Inn, because driving matters.
Yeah, it's a special place.
Anything else? Did I say it all?
I'm good with them.
Yeah, okay, me too.
Oh, wait, no, one thing I want to touch on, that Paulie, the other manager, left.
Great, thank you.
Yes, and he's opening up the rival bar that's going to...
And he said, John's never going to have to rescue our bar.
Yes, I loved him.
It was so great, and kudos to the producers for doing that, for giving us that. For not just getting his whereabouts, but then getting his story, him and the wife high-fiving.
Yeah, that was great, saying that he finally got into a fight with... Fathead. And threw the keys at him, and he left and never went back. And he said, but my wife and I are going to open a bar. This has been our dream. And
I get the chills. I know.
Yeah, I got the chills.
It's awesome. So, yeah.
That was the takeaway.
Thank you for remembering that. Thank you.
Yeah, that made me happy.
So our friends on Bourbon Street.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yay.
Wow.
I was so happy.
Right.
It was the one that I started taking notes, because I take notes as I go along, just so that I know what to talk about with you. I stopped taking notes. I was enjoying it so much. I just wanted to watch and celebrate. Oh, they did that. Oh, that's amazing. I'm so happy.
Okay, so note to other bar rescue people, other bar rescue owners. These guys, so we saw sorties where they executed John's plan. This is why this was a great back to the bar. And they kept everything the same, and they executed well, and that's all they needed to do. These guys did practice the Japanese philosophy of Kaizen, which is continuous improvement. So like Toyota, if you work for Toyota, you are challenged, whether you're the CEO or the assembly line worker, you're challenged every day is, how do I do whatever job is in front of me, how do I do it better? No matter how good it is, how do we do it better? And that's why you see even Toyota's designs, and it's very interesting. And in fact, Toyota engineers periodically give away some of their intellectual property to other car manufacturers. So whether it's this special kind of power seat or the special kind of power window, they'll give it away. They'll say, here you go Ford, here you go Chevy, here you go. And that's to challenge their engineers to work harder to create the next new thing. Very interesting company, but Kaizen. And that's what I was thinking of when I saw these guys, because they took John's great ideas
And they ran with it.
and they ran with them, and they made them better, and I loved it. It was like, here was John's original thing. It was a little big, it was a little, this, was that, but it was a great working design. And what we did is that we made it smaller, and the flickering light. I'm like, I love
that
this.
he explained the reasons why he changed it, and that it was like, it didn't quite make sense. We wanted it a little, and explained it, and it's like, okay, but like you took the idea.
That's right.
And you made it work for you.
Right. And by the way, when you're there for 4 days and you're making all these rapid fire decisions, not everything's going to be perfect, but the bones, I don't know how, it's miraculously always are. And I love that they, got to make the, and it makes sense because the smaller cup is a smaller portion.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we had the gumbo expert come in.
Chef Ron was back.
He's awesome.
Love that guy.
He's great. And everything was flying colors, but like the I don't want to get to that part at the end of it, but the t-shirts, the merchandising, the cups alone, the fact that they go through that warehouse, he said it'll be gone in 3 months. This has become the place to go on Bourbon Street. Everyone wants to get in that shot chair. Have you been there? I went there.
I have not.
I went.
Well, I've never been to New Orleans. I'm sorry, I have to fix these.
No, go ahead. I went when I was down in New Orleans briefly. I think it was for WrestleMania or the Hall of Fame ceremonies with the WWE. Maria and I were there, and please, can we go to Spirits?
All I want to do when I go, not if I go. I'm going, and that is on my list.
And somehow they found out Maria was probably tweeting or whatever. They found out, the owners found out we were there, and so they tweeted at Maria. And so we went by and we met them and took a picture. And anyway, and I love how all the chairs are like blown out because they use them so much.
I loved that. This is where the chairs go to die.
Yeah.
And it was so great.
And then they expanded the outside for special events.
The back patio, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh,
the Taffer.
Yes, the Taffer.
The little homage. It was so nice.
And at the end, obviously the mascot who's out there getting people in, but the
that is a great mascot, by the way.
Amazing, and the hearse coming down the street at the end for the special surprise.
I couldn't.
Right?
I just had chills. I was like bursting off the couch, just so much enthusiasm. I was so excited. I was just like, they took this. They took this and they made it work for them, and they've made it so much better, and they're appreciative, and they're running with it, and they deserve all the success that they have.
We're buying investment property?
Yeah.
I mean, how much?
And they go upstairs and they're like, "Thank you, John." And this is because of Bar Rescue and the view with the horse-drawn carriage going down the street. Oh, I was done.
Like, it's so hard to be gracious. It's so hard to be thankful. I mean, someone, it's amazing. But look at how much it's paid off. And I'm in a weird spot here because I want to relay that note to future owners of Bar Rescue, but then again, I don't, because they entertain me so much. So I like my wackadoodles, I like my assholes, and I like guys like this. I like them all as much. I have to say, obviously, I like these guys the best because, who doesn't love us?
It's such a success story.
It's a great story. Well, I shouldn't say who doesn't love it. A lot of people who don't like success stories because they're jelly. But I do.
Enjoy a happy ending.
Do. Yeah, so do I. That was it was a great way to end it. And now I'm a fan of Back to the Bar.
I'm always a fan of Back to the
Bar.
Can I just throw out there in that one little promo for next week? Did I see you and Maria?
Yeah.
Are you guys back?
Yes, we're back next week. It was at Bricks. I think the Brixton. I think it was the bar. And I said this in an interview before with John, and I'll say it again. It blew me away, this one, because I am a producer myself. I've produced television and I've produced movies. So let me just say, I know how to tell a story. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's people better than me, but I do know how to tell a story. And when we were in the bar, and it was all going down, and like you walk. I saw John walk. I said hi to him in the trailer, and he just at that moment got the information on this bar. I saw it for myself. It wasn't like he had a week to.
No.
He just got it, and the producers were telling him about the guy, and they actually weren't right. It was a knee-jerk reaction about the guy. Their assessment was incorrect.
Really?
And as Maria and I go out there and we're part of the show, it's all going, the way it all went down, I was in shock because I was panicking. I said, oh my God, do I have to get up and throw a drink at somebody? Like, how do we make a show? The storyteller in me is like, I don't see a show here. And of course, John walks in, and his producers don't see it. Maria and I didn't see it. He saw the whole story. Like, he knew exactly what the problem was. It just was a problem that we've never seen on Bar Rescue, so just to tease it.
Oh.
But John saw it. That's why, like, it's like this show is amazing, but it's all John. It's all John, and I do love the producers, and I say it every week, and the casting is amazing. But once we're there and we hit the ground, it's John. He drives
100%.
it. He drives the whole show, and I got to see firsthand. Yes, as a talent, he drives the show, but as a producer, I got to see it because we'll talk about it next week. But I was in awe. I was so nervous because I'm like, wait, there's no show. This is such a dud. Oh my God, like, you know. And I wanted to help. No, it ended up being a great show, but because of John.
Very excited.
Mazda, driving matters.
Driving matters.
You know what, Mia? You're very pretty.
Thank you, Kevin.
Look at that smile and the dimples. God damn. Okay, I hope that's not offensive. It just came into my brain. Okay, so Mia, what's up for the weekend?
It's Monday, Kevin.
No, but I'm already going to the weekend. Because I told you, I'm all excited. I'm bartending at my house again.
This is thrilling.
So Sunday, if you're not doing anything, come to my house.
I am actually leaving. I'm leaving town.
Why?
I may or may not be rescuing a bar.
Oh.
So I will not be here next week.
That is good news. Oh, wait, so I got to hold down a show about myself next week?
Maybe I can call in.
Okay.
I don't know.
You know,
we'll work it out.
Daria is a competitor on the series Tough Enough on USA. Also a Bar Rescue fan, and at 21 is the youngest head bartender of some really big bar in LA. But she's the youngest one they've ever hired. So she was saying, I'm a huge fan of the show, dude. I want it. I said, okay. So she was going to try to come in today, so I'll have her sub in next week.
Okay.
To help you out. But I'm going to miss you.
I will miss you as well.
But I'm glad you're going. That's good. I mean, I'm glad because you may or may not be rescuing a bar, and that makes me very happy. Okay, Mia, where do we find you? You can find me on Twitter at tall_Mia and on Instagram, tallmia. And at Undergaro. But guys, listen, rate and comment on our show. Love the comments. Yes, on iTunes if you're in audio, and if you watch us in video, YouTube. That's it. Everyone have a good week, and we'll see you next time. From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV. Buzz you later. The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.